I get it.
Fans coming out here, maybe they already got their votes in.
That's right.
Election day, but they've made their way over to the Seoul East Stadium, where it's filling up rather a lot.
Yeah.
So MVP fans, I mean, like you were talking about, very storied organization, so no real shock that there's still fans out here showing their support, despite the lackluster results from this team throughout the duration of their careers.
So it looks like Yaki plans to run Pharmacy here with Undyne. And it's going to be one fact once they get on the Tracer. So we'll see if Flashlucks has any way of dealing with this. So far, they look to have Kisu on the Soldier. We'll see if that actually stays. I doubt it. Yeah, it's going to be running the Zenyatta, but that's still a reasonable way of dealing with the Pharah. At least they have an answer in terms of this matchup as we start off on our first point.
I mean, you can toss the Discord Orb and the Winston can leap up into the sky, but outside of that, you don't have too many ways of dealing with the Pharah. So if Hale goes down early, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that McCree coming out to really try to deal with Yaki, because right now, he's starting things off just raining down from above, getting these rockets in. Almost finds Modern. The last rocket does connect, takes him out. Now looking for Wiso to pop the mech. They'll get him, and he should go down. So already, MVP space with a very nice forward showing.
Well, when you watch him too up there, he just isn't taking any damage. One fact is sort of dominating on the ground here as well. Fleta will actually pick up a triple though.
Dashes his way through, but does get taken out by Kuki in the end. MVP space trying to get the point cap coming through. Have it about halfway. Should be able to complete this unless Vale really wants to go into contest. Got Wiso here to back him up as they try to deal with the Winston. He goes low, leaps away. As they make their way in, they're actually going to drain out the point. This might be the chance for Flashlucks to go ahead and regain control over the map, at least for the moment.
It looks like even though they couldn't kill Yaki, the ground play was dominated by Fleta, and he just got so many kills it didn't matter that Yaki was up in the sky, doing as much damage as he could. Undyne does have a res available though.
Yeah, one fact though, really popping off, you can see on that kill feed on the Tracer coming up with the assisted quadra kill, and MVP space just shoved their way right back in onto the point. Nothing that Flashlucks could do to stop that.
And they didn't even get the cap, so MVP space is building the meter faster. They have the res available, the rocket barrage as Yaki gives some fan service here. They're going to have sound barrier too. This team just has the better setup right now, so unfortunate for Flashlucks. They will, however, have Dragon Blade soon. Nothing to pair with it right now though.
Yeah, Fleta's got it ready to go, but like you said, nothing else really on the way. The Pulse Bomb probably going to be the next fastest after that. Self-destruct barrage coming down, finds Kisu, looking for the Diva, but right click coming out, blocking a lot of those rockets through. But Yaki is still just free firing and completely healthy. Can't quite get Modern as he leaps his way out to safety, but still MVP space. All the posture forward, they hold on to the point. They'll just keep racking it up.
They hold on to their ults too. Yaki really only the rocket barrage being used there, and Wiso was a little bit late on the defense matrix, so that was really cost efficient of a hold. Flashlucks is finally going to switch Fleta now off into the Pharah. They're going to try to fight Pharah with Pharah. See if that works out for them.
Vale now going into the backside, has the Pulse Bomb ready to go, tosses out. I think it's stuck onto the bubble, actually maybe even consumed by the right click there from Vale, or from Daly. They're not going to get any ground gain with that ultimate in the meantime. That's going to be the sound barriers coming down from both teams. Vale just looking for a target, trying to build up for another one as fast as he possibly can, but he's really just firing into the backside of this Diva, trying to pop the mech.
And Daly going to go ahead and drop down the self-destruct, it looks like here. Not going to connect with anybody, but a triple here for Flashlucks. There's the res available. Kisu's using it at the last moment. He wants it.
He's looking for more. Doesn't quite want to use it on just Unis, but no one else is going down yet. As Flashlucks finally almost get a cap coming through. They have it 75% of the way. Barrage being thrown down there from Yaki. Finds the kill in on the flood, but the res does come out right off the bat there from Kisu. Just popping him back in. Trying to stay onto the point, but now it's 90%. They're off. They're not getting any contention coming through in MVP space. They might just have this at 100%.
Looks like they may very well. There's just no one to get on it now. Res is not enough for them to retake. Kisu is dead as well.
No one's there.
That's it. So, didn't switch to deal with the Pharah early enough, and even a Pharah versus a Pharah, you could argue perhaps Fleta's the better player, but it felt too little too late there. They did have their Mercy res up early, but they couldn't find a valuable one, whereas the one coming out very early from Eunice was really powerful, got 3 immediately, and that's what turned the point, or rather held the point there for Flashlucks. So just a lack of response there to the Pharah early on. They did dominate the ground battle, you would argue, with Fleta on the Genji, but just felt like there was no answer eventually there to that Pharah in the sky.
I mean, he had a lot of great kills coming through, at the start of the match, but outside of that, we didn't really see too much from Fleta. Swapping over to the Pharah just was not enough, and I'm really surprised to see that they went for the you know, the answering pharmacy comp rather than trying to throw Veil in over onto the 3. So a bit intriguing. We'll see if they're going to adapt as we move in onto Night Market. For now, will be double pharmacy comp coming through. Battling off right off the bat this time. Veil already down on the ground trying to build up a pulse bomb where he can, but Yaki gets the opening kill on the Fleta.
It's going to be nice for them. He's going to have to control this guy once again with no other answers here. So this is a huge win for Space to already start things off.
I mean,
they will take the first cap. Eunice dies there. One fact showing his mechanical skill on the Tracer. He's also got a pulse bomb up here in just a second. So a free cap for Space. And they're already building towards that res. They have way better ults here, the exception of Kisu. But you compare Yaki to Fleta, he's going to have his barrage much faster.
Oh yeah, he's already 20% up just about here. Pulse bomb ready to go here from one fact.
Oh, here he goes, looking for the pulse onto Eunice. Doesn't find it there.
Throw it out. Yeah, going for the Mercy, a little bit risky because she can always go ahead and shift glide away. Create some distance so you don't get that guaranteed stick coming through. For now, MVP Space still just maintaining control. Yaki firing away from above 82%, looking for that body shot in on the Fleta, finds one. The heal still coming out from the enemy Mercy, but Kisu does go down. Could be a big opening now for the side of MVP Space, but they lose a couple members in the exchange as Modern comes up with a double kill, and they knock Daly out of the mech. Fleta does finish him off. Yaki still coming around from the sideline, looking for one more shot onto Fleta. Can't quite find it. He's not willing to hit the ground. He'll stay alive, at least for the moment, but he's really playing with fire here. One shot and he is dead. Looking for that health pack if he can make his way to it. 9 HP, gets popped back up. Good little motions from him, but still.
Once again, it just feels like Space gets the better res. They're going to drop down the sound barrier to make sure they can hold this. Rocket Barrage available now for Yaki. He's looking for it. Tries to get the kill here on to Fleta, but fails. Fleta just aims and shoots him right in the body there in the sky. Drops out his own Rocket Barrage. He's going to pick up Kuki.
Yeah, and the self-destruct actually does find him, though, so an answering kill coming through from MVP Space as they try to just pile in, maintain control, and have that control meter ticking up. Pulse bomb out from Veil. Gets the pop, and there's no coming back from that one. Daly goes down. 78% now here for MVP Space. You see Closer going in, trying to ride the walls, trying to buy more time, force this into overtime before the cap can come through, and allow for the rest of MVP Space to get back here to maintain contention. Kuki does go down. That's going to be a nice big pick here for the side of Flashlucks as they look to finally gain control. They do so, but 91% has been accrued for MVP Space. One retake, and you have to expect that they're going to have Liege on.
Exactly. This is the reason why they spent so many resources to make sure they can hold the point to get it up to plus 90. So that way that they could just save up as close to 6 ults as they can and go for one big Hail Mary push to clean it up before they run out of time here. So now they could just basically do a few eco runs, try to build up those ults, including res, which is what Undyne is trying to work towards right now. We do see a big res coming in here already for Kisu, and that means they're not going to have it for the defense.
Yeah, they pop him up, but Lisu's already out of the suit, so won't be profiting from that one. And Fleta finally winning that Pharah battle. Takes out Yaki midair, but the res does come through from Undyne, answering, bringing him back in. Yaki very close to having that barrage, but not really in too safe of a position, or not really needing to use it at the moment.
Yeah, just wants to hold on to it here. They have the better exchange right now. Kisu is dead.
Fleta's inside. He's really the only one buying time now. Modern joining in the fray. Has the bubble down, but there's not much else that can happen. The barrage fired out by Yaki. They get the retake.
Veil is going to have to buy time. He's even nearby here. They're not zoning Kuki out right now. He doesn't even have res, so it's really just all about Veil.
There he goes. He goes back in, recalls out. Has to dip in and out to the point where he can. Pulse bomb comes down. That's going to be the answering primal rage from Kuki, keeping himself alive. As the rest of Flashlights try to push back in here. Sound barrier coming down from MVP Space, just trying to get the shove-offs here with the Winston ultimate.
Daily self-destruct coming in. No one's on the point. It's going to tick down, and Space is going to take this one. 2-0 on Lijiang. You talked about it feels bad to lose on one of your favorite maps, and Flashlights did not take control.
Get it.
Alrighty, well here we go. Like I was saying, this map probably the most balanced, the most even between defense and offense. So having this be the one you feel the most comfortable on is a pretty big risk.
That's definitely true.
For Flashlucks. So they need to have one hell of an attack to start things off. And even then, we've seen, get the cap on the first push and then lose out, just get bled dry on the streets phase before you can reach point B. So a big opening, something that we'll have to look for. Right now, Fleta hovering over the Widowmaker. We've seen more and more teams picking this up, but especially so on King's Row.
One fact on the Bastion as well. We'll see if this is actually kept as well. He's walked pretty far with it, but I don't think he's going to keep it, sadly. We'll walk back now. So definitely going to be much better off. Oh, no, he's going up.
He's looking just for the high ground.
This is, well.
All right, Flashlights win. I really don't know. I actually, I jest, but.
Okay, well, they're going to have Flashlights and have the dive comp here, so if they can actually identify where he is quickly, how long can one fact really
This is going to be
last?
a big surprise for them, though. Not having somebody like the Reinhardt, they're really only going to be reliant on the bubble. He's not sitting in turret form, however. He's in mobile, so just firing away with the left click at the moment, so not going to get a lot of damage in the spray. He's a bit too heavy, but he'll go ahead and shift around to the side and start firing away. He's going to constantly be trying to change position, so this does not happen.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about, the dive here. Once they find out where he is, it's just going to constantly harass him. And he's in recon mode most of the time, so we could have argued perhaps just a soldier would have been better in this situation.
Aldo, it's relatively dry game here, not that bloody. As I say that, though, Kisu goes down. A couple answering kills, Yaki picking up a second one, so no supports here for the side of Flashluck.
And as soon as the pressure is removed, you can see how valuable the Bastion can be at this angle. No one can really enter the point. He's already built up 60% of his tank configuration now. I mean, even his recon mode in terms of damage is decent, but when there's no pressure on him and he gets into that max damage range, can do very well. But there's no way for Flashlight so far. They haven't been able to break through and get on the backside here. Fleta soon to have the Dragon Blade.
Well, they take out Undyne here, so that's going to be a nice start. Fleta does go ahead and draw out the sword. Looking for the suit pop, actually gets Yaki in the exchange and just dashes through, getting rid of Daly and finishes off with Closer. A beautiful Dragon Blade, and that should be a big opening here now for Flashluck to get onto the point. Already the first tick. In fact, nearly winning the exchange.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and use his tank configuration
but he's
here.
already dead. Yeah, you see that Discord Orb come down, and he gets taken out. Expect to see the swap off from the Bastion, since he did go ahead and burn out the ultimate, but for now he's still sitting on it.
I hope not for much longer. It's just this does not seem to be a viable option right now. Flashlight was basically just dove underneath where he was, so he couldn't actually get value there, even in the sentry form. And he did end up winning the exchange briefly there against Fleta, and Fleta did take him out. Did get several kills off camera, but Fleta killed everybody else, so it just didn't matter. He was severely outnumbered.
You see Vale's job now is just kill one fact. He's got the pulse bomb ready to go. Knows that if he jumps in onto him, he'll probably die.
Hey, we're going to see the Transcendence come out here early on. Yaki's going to come with a counter Dragon Blade, though. Already gets the one onto Fleta. Not going to find anything else so far.
Really in range there for him to follow up on. Does get the dash through onto Vale. So a couple kills picked up here for MVP Space. Go ahead, stop that payload up here at the second corner.
Flashlight's just going to back off here. Fortunately, did use the Transcendence there to no avail and got totally shut down by Yaki's Dragon Blade. One fact is just going to stick with the Bastion for now. Once again, going up the stairs to get that high ground position. And he's already spotted here by Vale, so Vale can look for an opening to pass through and go around. Here it is. Closer spots him, but 1v1 versus a Lucio. Obviously, Vale is going to win that fight.
Pulse bomb's ready to go. Kuki tries to leap out, but still gets taken out by Fleta.
And did eat that pulse bomb, actually. Daly did. So not going to
down
actually
the
land
hallway.
not going to land on here, but the push continues. They're just not able to get into a solid zone to stop this from happening. They're not getting kills either.
Dragon Blade yet again here from Fleta. Already finds Undyne to start things off. Looking for Daly yet again. Now dashing forward onto one fact. Opposite deflection. He'll go ahead and pick himself out to safety. Sees that self-destruct toss, but not going to find much. But here comes the tank form yet again. One fact taking another turn at it. But still is not gaining much ground for his team. Finally finds Vale. Gets the heal off in the end, so keeps himself alive this time around, and they actually do get several kills. Not so much by the efforts of one fact, as he does get Unis. I'm just caster cursing all of Flashlucks right now. But
I mean, one fact is getting some good recon kills as well. His accuracy is pretty solid. He's just trying to build up tank config again, but again, he's just in this position where he's so vulnerable every time to Vale coming around the backside, so he needs support there. And while there's so much resources committed to protecting the Bastion, the push continues. Flashlight has already pushed this so far. Just want to keep this around the corner now.
Coming through, that's going to be the nano boost used in onto Kuki. Barely keeps himself alive, not even there we go, that's going to be the primal rage coming through. Transcendence thrown down, however, by Kisu, trying to keep his members far forward, but looks like he's going to pay for this one with his life. A couple more smacks will take him out. Kuki going to try to exit, and will get tagged in the back there by Fleta.
So
a 1-for-1.
Fleta's going to have Dragon Blade soon, but nothing to pair with it. As OneFact continues to build that tank configuration, which is where he's found, oddly, the most success, actually, on the defense. But as I said before, this push is narrowing, nearly reaching that checkpoint. And just can't zone out all the members of Flashlux respawning and coming together, grouping up now as 6 on the payload. Vale has the pulse bomb, trying to find a way in. He's just harassing from the backside, really. He's not even diving that far in.
Let's try to finish off. Kuki there had the Discord on him, but wasn't able to get it. Meanwhile, Yaki drawing out the Dragon Blade. Finds Stu getting rid of both the supports. A very nice start here for the side of MVP Space as we near a minute left on the clock. Dash forward coming through for Fleta. Does finish off Kuki, who just seems to always be the one dying on the side of MVP Space. But they will hold yet again right in front of point B.
They've got a minute left to build up the sound barrier and the Transcendence to give Fleta an option. I think he should be patient here and wait for those tools to force the all-in onto the checkpoint. Going in early with the Dragon Blade is ill-advised here with 2 of those ults so close, especially Kisu with the Transcendence. He's trying to harass right now, looking for an opportunity. The tank comes out. He's just going to pop this anyways.
Yeah, Fleta dashing forward, takes out Undyne, help get Kuki. Will die in the end to Yaki, but already the kill spilling forward in the favor of Flashflux. They finish off closer. Just 2 members left. Yaki trying to sprint around, but the Discord orb means that he's not going to get very far. They finally finish the push with 25 seconds left. That'll bump them back up to around 2 minutes. So dangerously close there was Flashflux. The Dragon Blade doing quite a bit of work off the bat.
And once Undyne went down, he felt comfortable enough to go in with the Dragon Blade. There was no Sleep Dart to worry about anymore. OneFact is just hell-bent on making this Bastion work. Like, you'd argue it has been to a certain extent, but you could have argued as well that the Soldier might have been just as strong in this position with Attack Visor coming out. Gonna burn down the Winston here immediately, though, before Kisu's Transcendence gonna actually save him.
That was actually so crucial. Kisu just dashed forward, trying desperately to keep Modern alive, but did not find it. So really poor timing from the side of Flashflux, losing out on that ultimate. They try to build up for another one. They've already rounded this last corner. They only have a minute left on the clock, however. This is still a very precarious spot to be in, and Vale getting taken out is not going to help them at all. Once they land that massive pulse bomb, try to get rid of the front line of Kuki before that Primal Rage can come out. So this is going to delay Flashflux here. Now really, they only have about 1 more solid push that they can use, and they're probably going to dump all of these ultimates in.
Yeah.
So if that does not work, they likely don't get this 3rd cap.
Exactly, and Kisu not having the Transcendence is so key, as you mentioned. They can stagger that with the Sound Barrier to really make this happen. They're going to see the Sound Barrier come down now. Yaki, though, pops his Dragon Blade, gets the 1, but is taken out by Fleta, who's about to have his, and that's going to be without the Transcendence.
1-for-1 so far here. Flashflux losing out on him. Not the biggest prize that MVP Space could have found at the moment, but that will delay him running back in as they continue this push. 13 seconds off the clock.
All right, looking for Undyne first.
Yeah, goes ahead, gets rid of Undyne, looking for more. Can he find it? Gets Critic closer. He'll get taken out in the end. That's 4 members of Flashflux dead. MVP Space can posture forward. Daly's still relatively healthy, and there's no one there to tag it. Vale couldn't make it over to the payload, so they lose out just meters in front of point C.
Space just basically kind of constantly harassing and buying time. Felt like there were a few kind of all-in dives onto the back to try to kill Undyne, try to kill OneFact by Flashflux that didn't succeed, including where they committed the Sound Barrier, and before that committing the Transcendence without being patient enough to pair Fleta with the Dragon Blade. Usually picked up 2 kills when he did pop it, but was taken out immediately afterwards. Could have been the wipe they needed, though, to continue to push the point. Had there been more pairing there, they didn't have it. And Space defends there, prevents the full push as they now switch over to attack, and don't think we're going to be seeing OneFact on the Bastion this time.
Give me Attack Bastion. I want Bastion or Torbjorn, make it happen. No, it's I'm surprised MVP Space held, especially on the Streets phase as well as they did with the Bastion. I don't think it was as instrumental as some of the other players doing well, the likes of Yaki there, but overall, refreshing to see.
That's right. So let's see what comps are going to roll out here for MVP Space. OneFact is holding on the Widowmaker here, which has been, as you said, quite common recently. We'll see if he actually commits to it, as Closer wants to give Bastion fans some more hope here. don't think that is going to happen in a million years in terms of the Lucio player here. Undyne switches to the Zenyatta, so he might be looking for some Discord orbed snipes. The door's open here in 20 seconds. Blood is actually going to be on the Roadhog here on this first point, which is not uncommon. And have Modern using the Rhine to hold the choke point. It's going to be really strong against the Widowmaker if they commit to it.
I mean, this is just the triple tank that we're used to seeing here from the side of Flash Slugs MVP Space. Looking to change things up a little bit. And honestly, I like this quite a bit because they have double boost targets. They can boost in onto One Fact or Yaki, depending on the situation. They will play forward with this as they wrap around the corner.
Yep, no Discord, but having the damage boost coming out from closer. Yaki's actually got closer on his backside right now, looking for the damage boost to get around the side of Reinhardt, so distracting that shield.
Sleep Guard finds him. They do go ahead and they get the pop in on the mech because they finish him off. It's going to be the question. Big
nice
heal
grenade,
coming through, and Yaki just fires away, gets the double kill, taking out Kisu alongside the D.Va, and they'll just push forward. This should be a very early cap for MVP Space, already having that first tick. Flash Lux could go ahead and try to all jump in to deny this, but likely will just concede.
They are going to concede the point here, so
that's
it's all about Yaki coming from the back there to distract the Reinhardt shield. It was an amazing biotic grenade that allowed him to pick up the triple, and then One Fact off screen was doing a lot of damage himself, helping to allow Yaki to get the finish offs on those kills. Everyone was low because he was harassing so well. He's actually going to stick with this for now. Push continues, 5:20 on the clock for MVP Space.
Yaki's got the Barrage ready to go. Oh, there we go. Finally gets an opening shot. Barrage comes down from Yaki in the meantime, but it gets blocked out by that D.Va right click, and he'll get taken out by Flood up midair. Rez coming through, trying to pop him back up. See how much more they can get down here. Daly's been knocked out of the mech.
Oh man, they are just crushing this right now, and this is
just jumping all the way back to the Foundry. It's going to be a really fast Street Space.
Yeah, they're just going to push right through it. And one of the cool things about Widowmaker is it's not just about how many kills you get or how often you pop off in the highlight reel, but the threat, the pressure the Widowmaker gives, forcing awkward positioning. That's exactly what this Pharah is designed to circumvent or get behind that Reinhardt shield, force the Reinhardt shield to turn away, and that's when the Widowmaker shots are going to come through. Or just break the shield itself. Give One Fact more of an opportunity.
Well, we heard an Earth Shatter coming down. Don't think it found much, however, because you can see Flashlights aren't pushing forward. Deflect almost takes out One Fact. For now, is still safe to just go ahead and keep hammering away. Shot after shot going forward. Vale, Tac Visor with an Nano Boost coming through, with the block coming out from Daly. Keeping most of his team alive. He'll lose the mech in the exchange and will get taken down. So Flashlights finally finding some kills, holding this push for MVP. They've already gained so much ground and have 4 minutes remaining just to get to point B, and then from there have to go 52.5 meters.
And we'll see if they keep One Fact on the Widow for one more push here. There's definitely arguments for it. It's been working so far, but they're going to swap it off here. Yaki going to stick with the Pharah because he has that Barrage, but he's not going to have the Mercy anymore. Closer's going to switch now over to the Lucio, so just going to use the Barrage and probably switch right afterwards. But we'll see if he can actually sync up the Dragon Blade this time with the sound barrier.
Yaki, he's got a wraparound, a very cheeky one, dropping in the Barrage. Right click yet again, getting the block off, and Yaki has to eject himself for fear of going down, so we'll just wrap right back around, gets healed up.
It's a good angle, though.
Yeah, it still is another good one. Just firing away, works him down low, pops him into the wall there with a concussive blast.
Just right over the Reinhardt shield.
Kisu can't quite find anything. A nice biotic grenade there.
He had that
them all alive.
Forced rocket barrage because he really wanted to switch, but now with that angle, he's built up 50 again. He might just stick with it a little bit longer. One Fact does get taken out. Fliz gonna have that Dragon Blade.
Slicing away, looking for closer. Can he find him? Pops that speed boost, backs himself up. Looks like Fledo won't be able to chase him too much further. He doesn't quite have that dash up. But he actually gets the pop onto Daly's mech right at the end, so a nice little takeaway.
And finally, MVP Space will completely alter the composition. Switching Yaki now to the Genji.
He deflected the sleep dart.
Yeah, well done there. Switching Yaki to the Genji now. They're going to have double support for him to really strengthen his Dragon Blade. As Moderns may switch to Winston a little bit later here, since the shield isn't going to be as effective with no more Widowmaker to deal with. Still has the Soldier. Will Undyne pop the Nano here?
They might have to use it to try to get themselves back toward the payload. The rollback is being it's pretty significant at the moment.
There it goes.
Go ahead, toss out the boost with the Tac Visor, but the shields are up. The D.Va right click is there. It's blocking so much of this damage. They'll chip away, but they won't get much else. Self-destruct coming down. won't really find anything for its troubles, just zones MVP back a little bit further. Finally make it back over to the payload, but can they maintain this ground? They find one kill onto Fleta. That's going to be a nice one, but the nano boost comes down in onto Modern, who has an ultimate available, but he's very dangerously low. Getting a couple hills coming through, but he gets taken out in the end before he can use the Earth Shatter, and Flash Flux looking to get completely team killed.
Yeah,
a delayed one at the end, and that's going to be a massive push coming back in here for MVP space. Ooh, takes him out.
Yaki's looking to have this Dragon Blade soon, so they may have another big push. This wasn't very expensive for them, what they had to commit there. They did use the Nano Boost and the Tac Visor, but both actually rebuilt very quickly. It wasn't even that combo that got them through. Flash Lux, though they had this long defense, looks like they may lose this checkpoint. Yaki gonna get double already. There's the triple.
This is just devastating for Flash Lux. Another one coming through there as he takes out Kiso. So yet again, just targeting out beautifully on all of the supports as Yaki with that Dragon Blade works his way right through them. Hot knife through butter. That's the completion. 2.5 minutes on the clock for MVP space to go 52 meters, and they still have 3 ultimates and nearly 5 as Closer and One Fact are very close to completing theirs.
Just feels like the ult synergy for Flash Lux has not been there overall today, and MVP Space is winning a lot of these fights without ults, which gives them a huge ult lead right now. So he has self-destruct, completely whiffs here.
They just dip into the bubble to keep himself safe.
Yep, and this is just a total waste. It's not a tool they're going to have for the defense now. So you see the Tac Visor gets nanoed again. The shield is down. Modern just barely peeks behind that corner, but the push is coming in.
Visor. They just want to shove back. They want to get rid of Modern. The shield is not going to be there. They're already exploding. Now the Visor coming out, gets rid of Fleta and Eunice. And MVP Space look to finish this one off. A triple kill coming through for One Fact. They dash through, complete the team wipe. And that is going to be MVP Space now at match point, winning on King's Row.
The just lack of ult synergy for Flash Lux seems to be a big problem. Fleta is sometimes able to start a fight off well, but doesn't have the finishing power.
I get it.
Well, the MVP fans definitely went out on that one.
That they did, and you could blame them with the momentum completely in their favor in this series. They may have even earned some new fans tonight. Flash Lux will be on attack first, and they look to run the dive comp from the looks of things. Yaki is showing the Sombra, but he's only teasing.
Yeah.
Might switch to it later on, but it's usually the secondary support, in this case Undyne, who would be playing the hero.
What
we have seen some Tracer players play the Sombra, but it's pretty rare.
We will be seeing the 2-2-2 from the side of MVP Space, Kuki and Daly on the Winston and that Diva. And we'll just get Soldier and Tracer as our DPSers. So nothing too shocking coming out here from the side of MVP Space on this defense. We'll see what Flash Lux are going to piece together. For right now, they're hovering over this dive composition with Kisu back in over onto the Zenyatta, but we could see some swap-offs coming through.
And we've seen Kuki with some incredible bubbles to stop the somewhat forced self-destructs we've been seeing from Wiso, as we saw on King's Row especially, through several in, who just immediately responded with the bubble, the shield coming out.
This is cheeky, though.
Looking for an early pick here.
Yeah, and Yaki, I mean, will have to. They will have identified that there's a Zenyatta, and he could definitely 100 and 0.
That's exactly what he's going to go for.
So jumping in on the back, looking for him. Can they finish him off? They do. First blood coming in through for Yaki. Nice cheeky play, sneaking around from the backside, gets the kill in on to Kiso, and with Fleta going down, that's just going to go ahead and stop Flash Lux. So this forward position that they started garnering for themselves inside the doorway just gets shut down instantly.
And this really hurts the push of Flash Lux. They want to have the Transcendence and the Dragon Blade together. It's going to take a lot longer for that Transcendence to be built, and they have to completely give up the point. He's going to go for a second here. Looks to get the double on him. So far it's successful, but that was a close call. He is just on the hunt. Zenyatta hater right now.
That was really close. But unfortunately for the side of MVP Space, don't complete the pick. Now though, Flash Lux starting to wrap around this left-hand side through the buildings. Vale's got that pulse bomb ready to go. We'll see if he can find a target as he sneaks around in the back.
For the Soldier.
Drops it down, doesn't find the stick. In the meantime, Fleta just popped Daly out of the mech, takes him out as well.
Now
a bit of ground gained here as Fleta starts going off here with this Genji. Dashes through, gets rid of Kuki. Now going to be looking for the likes of Closer if he can get him. Sitting inside that hero, that Soldier pool just getting healed up, but can't last much longer. And Flashlucks, they found their way onto the point. They'll get the cap right here. 2.5 minutes on the clock. So
as soon as they got Daly out of the Diva mech, that was when Vale was completely uncontested. The same with Fleta there. And they just tore through. It was good target selection. Oftentimes, you don't want to focus the Diva, right? But if you can actually knock her out of the fight that quickly, and you have two really fast DPSs that are very accurate, so you can just rip through the Soldier very quickly. He's not mobile. They even tried to go for the pulse bomb there onto him. But good target selection, very good push, and they saved all their ults, so they have everything available here, minus the pulse bomb.
Exactly, they have so many ready to go, and Vale will have that pulse bomb up very soon. Right now, Kuki coming up with the Primal Rage, and Closer's going to have the sound barrier, so they have delay tools, but Flashlucks have so much to deal with. You can already see it being thrown out here. Transcendence going to start things off from the side of Kisu, making sure that everybody's topped off into the sound barrier, very crucially, not layering them, chaining them together to extend Flashlucks' push here onto the point. So far, haven't really gained much. MVP space, though. A couple members going low as one back fires off from the backside. They'll lose out on Yaki and Kuki.
Yeah, just trying to kind of spawn this camp here. Here's the self-destruct coming in as well as the nano boost comes in onto one fact. Trying to find some more picks as the push is starting to slow.
There's no visor. Oh, nice little turn to the side there. Gets the Helix Rockets in on the Vale. Takes him out, but already the first tick getting ready to be picked up here from the side of Flashlucks. They will have to peel back, however.
Yeah, it feels
see, even with that many ultimates, do not come up with the first tick.
And it feels bad to use that many ults and fail, but realistically, they have so much time to work with because basically their second hard push there on point A did succeed. They still have 5 minutes left. They could build 5 ults again and go for another strong push like this. So,
I mean, that's a fair point. But you do have to be worried for Flashlucks, especially if you're a fan watching from home or here in the audience, that they couldn't get it done. They couldn't even get a single tick with 6 ultimates on the board. Now they have to go for these eco pushes or dry pushes, as some people like to say, to try to build up, and that's just going to drain down the clock. So if it comes to that point where, you know, they have to invest these next 3 minutes to get 6 ultimates again, and then it doesn't work out, they're not going to get the cap.
Definitely an issue here is Vale's looking for the picks here on the backside. It's the only ult they really have right now they want to use during this dry pushing round. Trying to get the pick onto Yaki, unsuccessful. It's going to be Modern who gets him with the bounce. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate, like you said. Well, they're just going to keep building up for the follow-up push. So they're unsuccessful here, and they committed so much. We've seen this a few times on this map. All-inning on that left side spawn, trying to keep everybody in there. But Space had someone, I think it was Yaki, actually preventing the capture, and then eventually they broke out after Flashlucks tossed everything in. Including the Diva ult there, just wasn't able to get the picks consistently, and the push started to become stale.
And it's basically what we were talking about on King's Row. You know, a couple ultimate investment coming through. Oh, Vale actually gets himself executed as Daly says, all right, you want to pulse bomb me? I'm just going to charge into your face. Gets rid of the tracers, so nice little micro play coming out there from Daly. Getting the trade back, but this is what we're talking about on King's Row, where, you know, MVP Space, they didn't have to invest as many ultimates and they were still winning out. Flashlucks would dump everything that they had and they wouldn't come up with anything. So it's still just these outplays that MVP Space seems to be finding that keeps them in a, you know, a secure spot. Already half of the time been drained out of the clock, 3 minutes left to go. Several ultimates available for Flashlucks, but the bank is looking pretty good from the side of Space as well.
This is going to have to be all about Fleta right now when the Dragon Blade comes in. If they're going to make this push happen, Undyne is dead. There's attack visor available. Not going to pop it, though. Yeah, there it is.
Transcendence out. There we go, Squeezo. Yeah, he wraps around from the side. It's going to be the sound barrier answering, keeping everybody topped off. Tries to get the pick in onto Kuki. He goes dangerously low, but he keeps himself alive, even through the Discord Orb. Primal Range now going to be answered by Modern, just trying to shove them all off, and Fleta draws at the Dragon Blade, finds one on the Undyne, but gets taken out by one back from the other side of the arena. Just a bit of a scrappy fight back and forth here as Daly gets knocked out of the mech. The bubbles as they try to push into each other's territory. Seems to be the war being won by Flashlucks, who come up with several kills, but MVP Space not in overtime, still have the faster recalls, have that very close spawn, so they make it back in, and yet again, not a single tick accrued for Flashlucks.
You know, Flashlucks didn't pop the Dragon Blade early. They really wanted to win that off the Dragon Blade. MVP Space immediately had the sound barrier coming down. They disengaged back into that choke point in their spawn location on that left side door. And from then on, Fleta popped his Dragon Blade afterwards, after MVP Space had already kind of regrouped and had their defensive setup there, where perhaps if he had popped it before we had that attack visor coming in, he could have got a few more picks. Attack visor cleans up and they get the point. Just again, it feels like the ult synergy for Flashlucks is missing.
He got a stick. Took out Closer rather. get any more here. Daly does go down. This could be a very crucial opening here for Flashlux. Looked like the most unlikely stick there from the side of Hill. The fadeaway on the recall does come up with it, but still nobody really posturing forward. They get a little bit going on this meter, but still only halfway to one tick.
They're looking for an angle here. Is Fleta. We're going to have to back off, though, and look for the reset on this push.
I mean, look at this. MVP Space are just shoving them back into the flanks. They just make sure that they can't push in onto the point, and then they work them down one at a time.
Exactly. There's going to be some split spawning here as well. Wiso now out of the mech.
Here we go. Yeah, they're going to try to delay him as best as possible. They booped him back in, but actually, they booped him over to the side.
Yeah. Well, he died anyways there at the end to the Lucio left click. So another hold here, and 5 minutes have become 45 seconds. Flashlux used a lot for this push. They're going to have a few more set up here. They've actually switched Fleta onto the Soldier, but it seems to be so far OneFact is actually winning that exchange every time. Here he is up on the high ground. Doesn't have a visor yet. He's going to have to build for it here with 30 seconds left to go. OneFact has his. If he knocks him out of the fight, that may just be GG here on this first push.
Yeah, and yet again, we're going to be looking at match ultimate pulls here coming through. Undyne, the only one that won't have one as Closer gets ready to have the sound barrier. Naki trying to find Eunice, gets the pulse bomb down in onto Kisu. I thought there was going to be a stick there, but looks like it just barely missed. It doesn't matter, however, because Kuki is able to finish him off with the Primal Rage. Sound barrier coming down for Flashlux.
Here's Fleta, but the sound barrier is going to deny him once again. He has to back off. He's knocked into the spawn, and that is going to be the hold here for Flashlux, or excuse me, for MVP Space.
Yeah, just working him down steadily here. Modern, he gets a kill, but can't make it onto the point. Dies right at the end.
Two picks immediately, knocking the Zenyatta out of the fight. Then the mech was down, and Fleta had no protection there. Wasn't able to pick anything off because it was still 6 up. Sound barrier alone was able to deny his tac visor. That was the second time that happened. Just no cohesion with the pushes. They had so much time to work with. They had so many big ult attacks. They had 6 to start, then 5. And they just couldn't make it happen because the defense was so well set up. MVP Space always backing off at the choke point. The ults came in one by one, and oftentimes you do want to stagger your ults. You don't want to stack them on top of each other, but Flashlux just couldn't actually get the picks early on to make the tac visor get kills. They never were able to force the sound barrier. And whenever the tac visor came up, it just looked like it was wasted.
Yeah.
As we move into the attack now for Space.
And this is exactly what I said when they got that early cap was, okay, this is really good, so much time to work with, but once you see that first push fail, you have to know that Flashlux, they are just completely getting outskilled by their opponents. So MVP Space shuffling around their members between the sister teams seems to be paying off really well, especially with OneFact coming in onto this roster. He has been a shining light for a team that has a very troubled past.
And I feel like that's well said, and I think Kuki has really come into his own in this series as well, playing a very good Winston. And sometimes you look at a swap like this, you look at Climax, for example, and you're like, well, are they even better than Climax? Like, is this actually worth it? But sometimes team synergy is better than individual skill, and
sure.
MVP Space seems to look a lot stronger with this roster so far, as OneFact looks to potentially push with this Widowmaker once more.
And, you mentioned Kuki doing a good job on the Winston, and I do kind of want to highlight that because I both agree and disagree with you. Kuki does a really good job jumping forward and getting all the attention of the enemy. Flashlux, they consistently target him out, and that opens up the rest of MVP to just pick off Flashlux one by one. But Kuki, he's not Miro. He doesn't fully know his limitations, so he is dying quite a bit. So I would like to see him, back out every now and then. But overall, drawing the attention of Flashlux has been very crucial for MVP, and he's been doing a great job of that.
I would agree. OneFact starts off with the Widowmaker, looking to pick onto Wiso immediately here already.
Almost shatters that mech right off the bat. Would have been a really good opening here from the side of MVP.
And Winston coming in, they're going to have to back off a little bit here. OneFact trying to get the pick onto the Tracer.
Yeah, good tracking, though. Couldn't quite get the shot in, but knew exactly where the Tracer was going to end up. Now he can go up onto this high ground looking for Wiso.
Knocks him out of the mech.
Would be the kill if he could find it.
It's actually totally uncontested right now. Here comes the Winston in. He's going to get out, though.
You hear that leap, and you know that you're pretty much done for.
He gets knocked off the side there. They're just going to reset for the push. Will he stick with the Widow is the big question. He nearly has his ult, but he's going to switch to the Tracer, wants to flank and harass instead. They are close to having the Dragon Blade pairings here. Flashlux has done a good job dealing with this so far.
You're looking for the re-entry here. No forward positioning from the side of Flashlux, and actually everybody off the point at the moment. They're playing it into the high ground.
They're not letting
right side
any
flank.
ults be built here for MVP Space either. They want to actually collapse in instead.
One fact though, he's going to change that as he goes in, just kills Modern. So getting rid of the Winston, no defensive bubble available means that Flash Lux are that much more vulnerable, that much more reliant on Wiso with a right click, just trying to block everything. But there's only so much he can do. Nice dash back there onto the point.
Wiso so far forward here, he's going to lose the mech, and that means this Dragon Blade could be a lot more free to be built. He's actually already got it. One fact picks up 2, and they're just going to step off the point.
I'd say it's free to just not be used.
Yeah,
Yaki,
you know
if he can
what?
just hold on to it, that's going to be very crucial. You can see the Transcendence does come down, answered with the sound barrier from the side of MVP Space. Kisu trying to push forward, but won't be able to find much. The Dragon Blade does come out. Eunice gets taken down, dashes in, trying to get rid of Veil, but the Tac Visor was available for the Soldier. He answers with 1, trying to find another, but won't be able to do it. One fact takes him out. That's the cap through for MVP Space. Just under 6 minutes on the clock. Still have 4 ultimates to their names, and they should be able to go ahead and push this one in. Maybe we'll see the snowball. It won't be the rush push, but
yeah, they're going to wait
quite a bit.
They had a bit of a split spawn there.
I might have gotten baited by Daly with the Baby Diva mech.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to...
Still got 3.
Still got 3, but they're going to come in here with Yaki not having the Dragon Blade. He used it earlier. Does have Transcendence to try to help build that if they want to use that early. Coming in for this first push. It's actually super aggressive. Gets a pick on a Modern. They're going to pop the Transcendence to even get the Dragon Blade off of this. Wiso the only one on the point right now. Veil trying to delay.
That is just going to be them going back in here. One fact, firing off yet again, being the star-studded player for this team. They'll just get the cap. That's going to be the series.
It's super easy for them to just snowball this through. There's not a lot of delay tactics there. They even have to really use big ults there. The Transcendence got them that extra pick. The respawn's coming in very late, and it's going to be a 3-0 here for MVP Space. Completely unexpected result going into today's match. We knew that